Hey there! Welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of the Moors. These were the diverse Muslim folks from the Maghreb region of North Africa and the Iberian Peninsula during the Middle Ages. Stick around, it's gonna be awesome. Originating from the Latin Maurus, used by Romans to describe people in the province of Mauritania, modern-day Morocco and Algeria, the term evolved into a broad label for the North African Berbers and Arabs who ruled parts of Spain and Portugal from 701 to 1492. The Moors were around for 800 years in the Iberian Peninsula, and their impact is still felt today. They really shaped the culture, language, architecture, and even science in ways that are super interesting and important. Isn't that amazing? They brought incredible innovations, like stunning palaces and intricate gardens, you know. Think about the Alhambra in Granada. It's a breathtaking example of their architectural genius. Plus, they introduced advanced farming techniques and even made huge contributions to science and philosophy. Can you believe how much they influenced art, music, and even cuisine? It's wild to see how their legacy still shapes parts of Spain today. So, let's explore how this vibrant culture left a mark that's still felt. Their conquest and rule, which spanned from 711 to 1492, kicked off this incredible era known as Al-Andalus. It's pretty wild, right? Just think about it. They introduced mind-blowing innovations in everything from medicine to architecture. Just think about those stunning palaces and intricate mosaics that still amaze us today. It was a total game changer, right? Picture this: advancements in education and science, like the development of hospitals and universities, and agriculture booming with new techniques. All of this created a vibrant culture that lasted nearly 8 centuries, shaping the world as we know it. It's honestly incredible how these innovations laid the groundwork for so much of our modern life. It was a time when knowledge thrived, like the introduction of new crops and the building of breathtaking structures. Sadly, it all came to a close with the Granada War, marking the end of their remarkable reign. The term Moor has quite a fascinating history. Back in the day, it was used to describe a diverse group of Muslim folks living in the region. We're talking about not just Arabs and Berbers, but also the people in Iberia who embraced Islam, right? Imagine the cultural melting pot that existed. These communities blended their traditions and lifestyles, creating a rich tapestry of influence that shaped everything from architecture to cuisine. It's really cool to think about how this term captures such a wide range of identities and experiences. So, when we say Moor, we're not just talking about one group, but a whole spectrum of people who contributed to the vibrant history of the region. This diverse group would go on to shape medieval Spain and Portugal in ways we can hardly imagine today. The Moorish conquest of Iberia kicked off in 701 AD when an army of North African Muslims, led by the legendary general Tariq ibn Ziyad, boldly crossed the Strait of Gibraltar. Can you just imagine that moment? It was a total game changer for the whole region, right? This incredible mix of cultures, ideas, and innovations started to flow in, influencing everything from stunning architecture to groundbreaking philosophy. Their arrival really kicked off a brand new chapter in European history. One European scholar, who was actually sympathetic to the Spaniards, described the scene in vivid detail. The reins of their horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch. It's such a striking image, isn't it? The Moors played a huge role in keeping classical knowledge alive and helping the world move from the Dark Ages to the Renaissance. When it comes to architecture, their style shines with beautiful geometric patterns, horseshoe arches, and lush gardens like those seen in the Alhambra in Granada and the Great Mosque of Cordoba. They also brought Arabic numerals to Europe and made big strides in astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Plus, they introduced new crops like citrus, rice, and cotton, along with smart irrigation systems called acequias. In 2025, the term Moor is still alive and kicking in North Africa, especially in Mauritania. Here it helps to distinguish between the white Moors, or Bedain, who have Arab Berber roots, and the black Moors, known as Haratin. It's fascinating how this term not only shapes identities locally, but also resonates globally. For instance, the Moorish Science Temple of America embraces this heritage to uplift African American identity, blending history with empowerment. It's all about reclaiming and celebrating roots, right? Their eyes shone like burning candles, their horses were swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in a sheepfold at night. The noble Goths were totally crushed in just an hour, faster than you can say it. Oh, poor Spain. The land taken over by the Moors transformed into Al-Andalus, a place bursting with life, culture, and innovation. How cool is that? Imagine walking through Cordoba during its peak. It was like the coolest city in Europe. Think about it. Libraries filled with ancient texts, scholars sharing ideas, and stunning architecture that still leaves us in awe today. The blending of cultures there was absolutely incredible, creating a rich tapestry of knowledge and creativity. You know, it's hard to believe that such a vibrant hub existed right where we are today. Its streets were well paved with raised sidewalks for pedestrians, and at night, 10 miles of streets were illuminated by lamps, a feat unmatched in Paris or London for hundreds of years to come. The city had an impressive 900 public baths, which really shows how much the Moors valued cleanliness and hygiene. Can you imagine that? While much of Christian Europe was struggling with literacy, like even kings couldn't read or write, Moorish Spain was a whole different story. Education was accessible to everyone. They had schools everywhere, teaching subjects like math, science, and philosophy. It's fascinating to think about how they pushed the boundaries of knowledge at a time when most people in Europe were left in the dark. The Moors really set the stage for a more educated society, didn't they? They set up 17 awesome universities in cool cities like Almeria, Cordoba, Granada, Jaén, Malaga, Seville, and Toledo, making education super accessible for everyone. These universities were popping up all over the place, way more than just the two in Europe. Can you believe that? The Moors' commitment to knowledge extended beyond formal education. In the 10th and 11th centuries, when public libraries were non-existent in Europe, Moorish Spain boasted more than 70. The library in Cordoba alone housed an astounding 600,000 manuscripts, a treasure trove of knowledge unparalleled in contemporary Europe. Scientific progress flourished under Moorish rule. They introduced new scientific techniques to Europe, such as the astrolabe, a sophisticated device for measuring the position of stars and planets. Advancements in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy thrived in Al-Andalus, positioning it as a beacon of scientific enlightenment in medieval Europe. The Moors' agricultural innovations transformed the Iberian landscape. They introduced a variety of new crops, including oranges, lemons, peaches, apricots, figs, pomegranates, and sugarcane. Additionally, they brought saffron, cotton, silk, and rice, which remain significant products in Spain to this day. The Moors also maintained and improved upon existing Roman infrastructure, particularly aqueducts and water irrigation systems, revolutionizing agricultural practices in the region. The architectural legacy of the Moors remains visible throughout Spain, especially in Andalusia. The Great Mosque of Cordoba, now known as La Mezquita, stands as an architectural wonder. Imagine stepping into a place where the low scarlet and gold roof soars above you, held up by a stunning 1,000 columns made of marble, jasper, and porphyry. It used to glow with the light of thousands of brass and silver lamps, all burning perfumed oil, creating an atmosphere that was simply magical. Then there's the Alhambra Palace in Granada, a real gem that was home to Muslim rulers from the 13th to the 15th century. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you can totally see why. The Moors didn't just stop at architecture. They also brought amazing flavors to the table. influencing music and cuisine in ways that still resonate today. Can you believe how rich and vibrant that history is? It's like a feast for the senses. Imagine stepping into a place where the low scarlet and gold roof soars above you, held up by a stunning 1,000 columns made of marble, jasper, and porphyry. It used to glow with the light of thousands of brass and silver lamps, all burning perfumed oil, creating an atmosphere that was simply magical. Then there's the Alhambra Palace in Granada, a real gem that was home to Muslim rulers from the 13th to the 15th century. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and you can totally see why. The Moors didn't just stop at architecture. They also brought amazing flavors to the table, influencing music and cuisine in ways that still resonate today. Can you believe how rich and vibrant that history is? It's like a feast for the senses. The Moorish impact on language and literature was profound. Over 4,000 Arabic words and Arabic-derived phrases have been absorbed into the Spanish language. Words beginning with al, such as algebra, alcohol, and alkaline, have Arabic roots. Even common terms like checkmate, influenza, typhoon, orange, and cable can be traced back to Arabic origins. Moorish characters also found their way into European literature, enriching the cultural tapestry of the continent. The Moors' contributions to technology and daily life were equally significant. They introduced paper to Europe as well as Arabic numerals, which replaced the cumbersome Roman system. The compass, originally from China, reached Europe through African trade routes established by the Moors. These innovations facilitated advancements in navigation, trade, and scientific pursuits. The contrast between Moorish Spain and the rest of Europe was stark. While Moorish rulers lived in sumptuous palaces, the monarchs of Germany, France, and England dwelt in what were essentially large barns, lacking windows and chimneys, with only a hole in the roof for smoke to escape. This disparity in living conditions reflected the advanced state of Moorish civilization compared to its European counterparts. The Moors' influence extended beyond Spain to Portugal. They ruled and occupied Lisbon, which they called Lisbona, and much of the country until the 12th century. Their final defeat came at the hands of King Alfonso Henriques, with the decisive battle taking place at the Castelo de São Jorge, or the Castle of St. George. As noted historian Basil Davidson declared, there were no lands in the 8th century more admired by its neighbors or more comfortable to live in than a rich African civilization which took shape in Spain. The Moors were around for 800 years in the Iberian Peninsula, and their impact is still felt today. They really shaped the culture, language, architecture, and even science in ways that are super interesting and important. Isn't that amazing? Their contributions really created this super important link between the classical world and the European Renaissance. Think about it. This connection helped spread knowledge like wildfire and sparked all sorts of new ideas that pushed Europe into the modern age. Isn't it wild how interconnected history can be, right? One moment, you've got ancient thinkers like Plato and Aristotle laying the groundwork, and then, boom, you've got the likes of Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo taking it to the next level. It's like one thing leads to another, and suddenly you've got a whole new world opening up. Hey, thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed it, do us a solid and like and share this video and channel with your friends. We really appreciate it. Your support means the world to us.